Hey guys, it's Nick, and some interesting news today has come out for your Chicago Blackhawks, and it's about the GM hunt, and it's over because the Blackhawks have named Kyle Davidson their full-time GM. Davidson's been acting as the interim GM since they fired Stan Bowman, and well, Davidson's now the man. He's going to be running the ship. He's going to run the team. With the trade deadline looming, he's going to have a lot to say now. He now has the title as GM of the Chicago Blackhawks. This is going to be interesting to see where his direction goes with this team, since they have a lot to do for your Chicago Blackhawks now, because they're in a rebuild. We all know it. He's rebuilding the Chicago Blackhawks from top to bottom. It's going to take some time because it took over 5 years to decide, let's do a rebuild. Because we were supposed to have done a rebuild over a year ago, and then they accelerated that and failed majorly. The Chicago Blackhawks failed a rebuild by going too aggressive by trading away our first round pick from last year, our first round pick for this year, for Steph Jones. Jones has had a good season, yes, but the Hawks have blown it up. They messed up by trading away a lot to get him. It's going to cost a lot to do what this team's going to have to do, because the trade deadline looms. It's less than a month away. Kyle Davidson's going to have a lot to do for your Chicago Blackhawks now. And frankly, I want to see what he does. I'm not the biggest fan of the move. I would have preferred a different man in the position, but Davidson has been running the ship. He did bring in Sam Lafferty, and Lafferty's has done well. His offense is not there, but that's Lafferty's game. He's not an offensive producer. He's basically a depth player with speed, and that's what's happened. But the Hawks are looking to rebuild, and hopefully that means we can acquire first round picks and more, because this team needs it. And maybe with Davidson as the GM of the Chicago Blackhawks, he will bring in a new development system for the Chicago Blackhawks, because frankly, the Hawks in developing players have failed, in my opinion, because I have not seen this team develop a prospect that's top notch in a while. Because look at Kirby Dach, they rushed his development and forced him into the NHL too soon, and Dach's had some issues since coming into the league. Lucas Reichel, they're doing Reichel right by taking his time to get him into the NHL. He's played a few games, he hasn't put any points on, but at this point, don't even bring him back. Let him play in Rockford. Let him build confidence on getting points every night down in the AHL. Then for players like on the defense, Ian Mitchell. Mitchell's a good defenseman, and I feel like the Hawks have not used him right in his development. And same with Nick Beaudin. Beaudin was viewed as one of the top prospects on this team, and frankly, this year, he's been flat out bad on the Rockford Ice Hogs. The Hawks have not been able to develop right. I wonder what this does for the coaching search at the start of the offseason, because yes, I feel like the Hawks won't be keeping Derek King. King probably has a chance at keeping the job, but I don't think King will remain with the Chicago Blackhawks. He could go back to Rockford and coach down there, but frankly, I don't know if he remains with the organization. The Hawks are going to have to do a lot for this team to prevail because, frankly, from top and bottom, this team is bad. It's an AHL roster at best, in my opinion, at this point. Patrick Kane, Alex DeBrincat, Brendan Hegel, Jonathan Toews. Yes, Toews is out with concussion protocol, but he's going to be part of this team going further. I hope to see Brandon Hegel remain with this team after the deadline. We've heard the rumors, yes. Hegel is fetching maybe a first and a top prospect. That's a lot for Hegel, but frankly, Hegel's a player this team needs. He's a good, young, depth player who can score with good cap space. We need it. We need to keep Higgs. We need to keep DeBrincat. We need to do everything in our power to find the trades that work for this team going for the future. Building a team to get back to its former glory. It's going to be a while, but we have to trust the process, I guess. But frankly, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts going into this trade deadline after the Blackhawks have officially announced Kyle Davidson as your full-time Chicago Blackhawk GM. He will be the 10th GM in team history. For a team that's over 95 years old, that's pretty impressive to say you've only had 10 GMs. But we have to wait and see what Davidson can do, because he's only made a few trades as interim, but now he's the full-time guy. He's going to have say what goes and what stays, because frankly, this team has a lot to do, and I'm really going to have to give Davidson my time to see how I like what he's doing, because frankly, he's a new GM. He hasn't ever done it before. Yes, he's the interim, but he was acting as that because Dan Bowman is a freaking idiot. So, I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are on Kyle Davidson being named GM of the Chicago Blackhawks, and thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and most of all, let's go Hawks!